Hello everyone, I'm Frank and welcome to Learn How to Sudoku, where we take a very easy variant Sudoku puzzle and we break it down in detail so that you can learn how to Sudoku. Today's very easy puzzle is called Chameleon To One by Tom Fry, and here are the rules. I'm assuming normal Sudoku rules apply, because otherwise it would be kind of weird. But okay, so normal Sudoku rules apply, which means fill every row, column, and box with the digits 1 through 9. Then we also have slow thermos, where digits mustn't decrease along thermometers from the bulb to the tip. And the circles are all bulbs, I was told. So basically this forms sort of like a chameleon. Actually, I can sort of see it. This is sort of an eye here of the chameleon. This is sort of the snout. This is its nose. These are, I don't know, legs, maybe? I don't know. This is part of this head. Very cool. Anyways, on a slow thermo, instead of the digits continuously increasing from the bulb to the tip, they just have to at least stay the same. So they must stay the same or increase from the bulb to the tip. They just cannot decrease anywhere from the bulb to the tip. So as an example, if this were, say, let's make this a 4, and this was a 4, and this is a 5, that would work because it's not decreasing from the bulb to the tip. The 4 it's staying the same in the 4 to the 4, and then it's increasing from the 4 to the 5. However, if this were a 6, this would not work because this, even though it's increasing from the 4 to the 6, it's decreasing from the 6 to the 5, and that's not allowed on a slow thermo. And those are all the rules. If you'd like to play along, there's going to be a link in the description. And now, I'm going to get started. So let's learn how to Sudoku. Okay, so for me, any thermometers, I like going from the bulb to the tips, looking at the least possible values these numbers could be. And then going from the tip back to the bulb, seeing what the most values these could be, right? So this is at minimum 1, right? Because it's the lowest digit in Sudoku. This has to be 2 because it's in the same box as it. So it cannot be the same digit, and it has to increase. This is 3, same for similar reasoning. It has to be greater than this cell, and therefore it's in the same box. So that will actually work for all of these cells, right? This has to be greater than this cell because this is in the same box and row. This has to be the same, has to be different from this cell, so it must be increasing. So this is a 4 at least. This is at least a 5 because it sees this cell and it has to be greater than it because it's in the same row. Same here. This sees this cell and it has to be greater because it's in the same row. And it can't be the same cell, same digit, sorry. The same here. This is 7, this is 8, this is 9. Well, this is at minimum a 9, and it's at maximum a 9. So we know exactly what these cells have to be, right? This has to be a 9, which makes this a 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Because none of these could be the same digit as the previous one along the thermometer, except for this one. This one could be the same, so it has to be the same because this is at minimum a 9, and it could be a maximum a 9, so it therefore is 9 either way. This can't be 9 anymore. It has to be at least the same as an 8, so therefore it must be an 8 here. This is a 3. This can't be 4 or 5, so this has to be at minimum 6. This can't be 6 because of that 6, so this is at minimum a 7. This can't be a 7 because of that 7 here. So this is at minimum 8. This can't be an 8 at here. So this is at minimum 9, which is also the maximum. So this is 9. This then must be an 8, which makes this a 7. This is a 6. This can't be 6. So this is at least a 7. This has to be at least 8 because it sees this digit and it's not the same digit. So it has to be greater than it. This could be the same as this. So this is 8 and it could be 9 because that's the maximum. this could be 8 or 9, and this could be 7 or 8, because this is definitely smaller than this, because it's in the same box. This is also 7, 8, or 9, because we already have a 1 through 6 in the box. Okay, let's see, what else do we know? This has to be at least 4, because it's in the same column. It cannot be the same digit. Either of these could be 5 as a minimum. So this could be 5, this could be 5. This cannot be 6. It can't be 5 because it has to be greater than it because it's in the same box. So this is 7 at least. This has to be 8 at least because it's in the same row as the 7 and it can't be the same digit. This has to be at least a 9 because it's in the same row as an 8 and therefore it cannot be the same digit. Well, 9 is the maximum too, so it has to be a 9 then, which makes this an 8, which makes this a 7. These cannot be 8 or 9. It cannot be 7 because of the 7 in the box. Can't be 8 or 9 because of the 8 and 9 in the row. This then is 5 or 6. This has to be less than a 7, so this is 5 or 6. So this is a 5, 6 pair, which means this cannot be 5 or 6. Well, it has to be less than both of these cells, so this can only be a 4. Where else do we want to go? Okay, so this one we're going to go the other way around because I think it's just easier to see here. This is at most a 6 because we have 7, 8, 9 already taken into account in the box. That means this is a 5 at most because it sees the 6 and it can't be the same as 6 and it has to be less than the 6 then. Or sorry, this cell. It doesn't have to be a 6 here. This is 5 at most. This could be 5 at most because it's not in the same column or row or box, so it could be the same. This has to be, though, a 4 at most because it has to be less than this. This sees the same digit here, so this has to be 3 at most. This seems the same digit here, so this is 2 at most here. This is less than a 5, so this is 4 at most. So similarly, this is 3 at most because it sees that, and therefore this is 2. So this is 1 or 2. This cannot be 1 or 2. This then has to be a 3, which means this cannot be 3. This then has to be 4, because, again, this has to be greater than it, and it can only be 4 at most. So this is 4, this is 5, this is 5, and this must be 6, because, again, those are the maximums, and we know the maximum is required here. This can't be a 4 anymore, so this could be a 3 or a 2. Well, it has to be greater than 2 other digits in the same row, so this must be a 3 then, which makes this a 2, which makes that a 1. Because this has to be greater than this, and therefore it is 1 and 2. Where is the 4 in row 4? It can only be here. So this is a 4. That forces this to be 3 at most, which makes this 2 at most, but this can't be 2 because of this 2, so this must be a 1. This then is 2 or 3. We're not sure which. This has to be a 5, 9 pair, and this can't be 9, so this must be because of that 9. So this is a 5, this is a 9. The remaining digits here are 6, 7, and 8. That's fine. The remaining digits here are 7 and 8. Well, what are the remaining digits here? It has to be 1 and 2. Okay. These digits in column 6 are remaining. Okay, should we just continue with this? Let's continue with this. This could be 1, it could be 2 at least. It could be 1 actually. So this could be 1 because it could be the same digit. This could be 2 because it has to be greater than this digit. This could be 3 because it has to be greater than that digit. This cannot be 1. It's at least 2. So this is 3. It cannot be a 9, so it's 3 through 8, but without a 5. But let's put this on hold for now. This is at least a 2 because of this. This is at least 3 because it has to be greater than the 2. And these both have to be greater than the 3. So this is 4 at least. Therefore, this is 4. Okay, we know one of these is a 9. because 9 cannot be here, 9 cannot be here, and 9 cannot be here. So one of these two is a 9. Since one of these two is a 9, this has to be 4 through 9 as a possibility. But this can't be 8, this can't be 5, 6, or 7, and this can't be 5. One of these is a 9. So therefore, this must be at most 8, but it can't be 8. This is 3 through 7. This has to be 2 through 6, but it cannot be 3, 4, 5. This can't be 5 either. So this is 2 or 6. One of these two is 9. This could be 1, 2. This is at most 8. So 3 through 8, but no 5. 2 through 7, but no 5. And this is 1, 2, or 6 again, because it cannot be 3, 4, 5, 8, or 9. So where is the 7 then in column 7? Can't be here because of this 7. Can't be any of these, so this must be a 7. This is 1, 2, or 6. That's fine. Where are the 5 and 6 in column 1? Can't be here because both 5 and 6 are here. Can't be any of these because neither, we have a 5, 6 pair in the box. Can't be here because we have a 5 and 6 already. So both of these must be 5 or 6. Because those are the only two places 5 and 6 can be. What about 8 and 9 in row 8? Cannot be here. Cannot be any of these. Cannot be any of these. It has to be one of these two. And both of them have to be there. So this is 8 and 9 pair. Well, we have a 7, 8, and 9 triplet in column 1, which eliminates 7, 8, and 9 in that column. Therefore, this must be 1 or 2. This must be 1 or 2. Similarly, we have an 8 and 9 pair in column 3, which eliminates 8 and 9 in the rest of the column. So we're looking at 2, 3, and 4. This is 2 or 3, and these have to be 2, 3, or 4. This is 1, 2, or 3 here because of the 5, 6 pair in the box and the 8, 9 pair in the box. This is 2 or 3. So therefore, this must be 1 or 2 at most, right? Remaining digits in column 5 are, column 4 are 1, 2, 3, and 5. This must be 2, 3, or 5. This can't be 1 because it cannot be smaller. This can't be 4. This can't be smaller than this digit, and it would be if that were a 1. So where is the 1 in column 4? It can only be here. So this is 1. Remaining digits in column, let's do 6, is 4, 5, and 7. This can't be 4, so this is 5 or 7. This is 4, 5, and 7. Well, neither of these can be 7, and this is smaller than this, so this must be 4, this must be 5, and this must be 7. This cannot be 5, so we have a 2, 3, 2, 3 pair in row 7, which eliminates 2, 3 from the rest of the row. So it has to be 1, 5, and 6. This can't be 1, so this is 5 or 6. This has to be a 1 then. Since this is 1, this has to be 2, which makes that a 1. Well, where is the 1 in column 7? Can't be here anymore. Can't be any of these. Can't be here because that C's a 1, so this must be a 1. Okay. This cannot be 5 here, because if this were 5, that would be greater than this cell, whatever it is, 2, 3, or 4. So this can't be 5. Well, where is the 5 in column 4? It has to be here. So this is 5, which means this can't be 5. This is a 6, which makes that a 5. This has to be a 4, because we already have a 2, 3, 2, 3 pair in the box. So this is 4. This cannot be 4, and this cannot be 4. This can't be 6, so that forces this to be a 2, which makes that a 6. This 2 means this can't be 2, and this can't be 2. That's fine. If this were 4, this would have to be 3, and that would eliminate all possibilities for that cell. So this cannot be 4. This can't be 2 because of this 2. This can't be 4, so we have a 2, 3 pair in row 1 and in column 3. So that eliminates 2 and 3 in the rest of the row, in row 1, and the rest of the column in column 3. That 4, this can't be 3. This is a 4. This can't be 3. This can't be 3. Well, this has to be greater than this, and this is 6 or 7. So if this were 6, this would force this to be 7. So this can't be 6. This can't be 4. This has to be 6, 7, or 8 because that's the only digits remaining. This can't be 6 here. We now have a 7, 8, 7, 8 pair in row 1, which eliminates 7 and 8 in the rest of the row. Therefore, this can't be 7. This must be a 6, which means none of these can be 6s. If this were 7, that would force this to be 8 and this to be 9, which would force that to be 4. But then the 7 would be greater than the 4, so that's not allowed. So this can't be 7, this has to be a 3. The remaining digits here are 7 and 9. We now have a 7, 8, 9 triplet in column 2, which eliminates 7, 8, and 9 in the rest of the column. Therefore, this must be 1 or 3. We have a 1, 2, 3 triplet in row 3, which eliminates 1, 2, and 3 in the rest of the row. And this can't be 6, actually. Therefore, we have a 7, 8, 7, 8 pair in this box, which eliminates 7, 8 from the rest of the box. This must be 6. We also have a 7, 8, 7, 8 pair in column 9, which eliminates 7 and 8 in the rest of column 9. So this can't be 7. This has to be a 9. This can't be 8 or 9 now, so this must be 4. The remaining digits are 3 and 5. And this can't be 5 because of that 5, so this is 3, which makes that 5. This 5 means this has to be a 6, which makes that a 5, which makes that a 6. This can't be 2 or 3. Sorry, it's either 2 or 3 in the box, but it can't be 3, so that must because of that 3. So this must be a 2, which makes this a 3, which makes this a 2, which makes that a 3, which makes that a 2, which makes that 1, which makes that 3. The remaining digit in row 9 is a 2. This can't be 2, so this must be 3, which makes this 1, which makes that 2. This cannot be 9. It's 7 or 8, but it can't be 7 here. So this is 8, which makes that 7, which makes that 8, which makes that 7. Remaining digit in row 8 is a 4. And this is just all Sudoku. This can't be 8, so this is a 9, which makes that 7, which makes that 8. This can't be 8, so this is 9. This can't be 8 or 9, so this is 7, which makes that 8. This 8 means this can't be 8, so this is 9, which makes that an 8. That's how you solve it. Yep. I mean, I like my method of how I used the low digits, going from the bulb to the tip, using the lowest possible digit, and then looking for the highest possible digit on the way back. In a sense, I didn't necessarily need it all the way through. Like, there was a couple parts where I did, but essentially, once you got to here, it was obvious that this had to be essentially the maximum possible, which would equal the minimum. Excuse me. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this solve, and I'll see you next time on Learn How to Sudoku. Take care.